What does it take to turn 20 tons of steel into finely crafted automobiles in less than a day? Or to transform an empty foundation to a new home in just 6 hours? Every process is a one-of-a-kind journey, beginning to end. From the fiery birth of high-tech golf clubs to the cataclysmic end of an old building. Get ready, because we're going from start to finish on Modern Marvels. The wrecking ball is certainly not the most technologically advanced instrument of destruction, but it works. And since its birth in early 20th century New York City, it has rammed its way through building after building. And on this job, the crew used it wisely. No accidents, no slowdowns. A good crew on the ground is a critical part of a successful start to finish. Terrance Hegel knows this. He's in the building industry, and today he's assembled a top-notch crew to complete a big job. Going from this to this in just 6 hours.
Final house will be what we call a traditional seashore colonial. So have a little wraparound front porch, lots of windows, 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. I have a full walk-up attic. It's a very nice house.
But it's no ordinary house. This is a custom-designed modular home where all the components are fabricated in a factory and designed to snap together like Legos.
The part that I most enjoy is starting at 7 o'clock in the morning and seeing that empty foundation and watching my guys come in and get ready to go to work. At the end of that workday, which might be 6 or 8 hours, we're going to have a house that would have taken anybody else 3 to 4 months. What we have here is our first module that we'll set today. About 7 days ago, this house was just a pile of lumber, and you can see right here, it's nearly a completed house. The full kitchen is in.
These modules can weigh more than 25,000 pounds, making the crane a key player on this job.
With the crane, you really want an experienced operator, and Ronnie is a very experienced operator. We've been working with him for years. It's a dangerous job. He's got to worry about power lines. He has to worry about the wind. He's got to worry about someone not paying attention and wandering around. So the operator is critical.
In fact, this entire crew is highly specialized. Proof that modular is a hot market.
Typically, when you build a house, you have a construction loan, okay? And your construction loan starts ticking the minute you start construction and start borrowing money from the bank. If it takes 6 months to build a typical house, and I can finish that same house in 2 months, that's 4 months of interest that that particular homeowner's not paying. That's a significant dollar savings to the homeowner.
But assembling cubes on site is just one part of this process. The nuts and bolts of modular building is in the factory.
What I find amazing is the factory process, and you have to see it to believe it.
At a modular home factory, it's always go time, as lumber becomes living quarters in an industrial blink of an eye. Plus, fire and metal combine to give birth to a golf club. And a shocking bath is the next step for these bathing beauties. That's next on Modern Marvels. Now, back to start to finish on Modern Marvels. It's been a successful day for Terrance Hegel and his crew.
We built a 2,000 square foot house in 6 hours. If we had built that house on site in a conventional method, where we're at today would have taken 3 months.
3 months is an eternity in the modular world, where construction speed can outpace conventional building 25 to 1. But setting a home is actually the final step. Modular building begins in the factory.
We've basically taken the house and put it in the factory, just like Henry Ford put the Model T in the factory all those years ago. At the same time they're building the floor decks, they're building walls simultaneously. So when that floor deck rolls over here, where we see the 2 walls standing up, The walls come over on a crane and they get set on the floor deck.
Every inch of Excel's factory is devoted to efficient building.
Where somebody on a traditional site is bending over, hammering a nail, and then reaching and, kind of wobbling on a high wall, everything in the factory is built at chest-high level, and it's built on very large jigs. So there's lots of things that they can do in the factory that you just can't do on site.
While modular enthusiasts are convinced that these are homes of the future, they're also icons of the past. In 1908, Sears Roebuck and Company added ready-to-assemble houses to their extensive mail-order catalog.
What Sears was doing out of a catalog was selling you the entire house. So every stick of lumber that went into that house was banded up, put on a railroad car, and delivered to your town, where you picked it up and then brought it home with the instructions and put it together.
The lumber was pre-cut at a factory, and the kit included a frame, drywall, shingles, and an instruction book. Some 100,000 people across America snatched up these homes in a box, despite a complicated construction process.
Obviously, what we're doing is that lumber's not coming to me in the field, that lumber's coming to my manufacturer. They're putting it all together and delivering me giant cubes.
Meanwhile, Terrance Hegel and his crew put the finishing touches on this piece of real estate, where they went from an empty foundation to an entire house in a mere 6 hours. Today's modular homes are a far cry from cookie-cutter post-war prefabs, like Levittown, New York. That's because modern builders and buyers are all about customization.
Very, very few of the homes that we build are off a stock set of plans. People will design their own homes, send us the drawing, we'll convert it into a producible home, and then we'll build that home.
But none of it would be possible without this. A factory process engineered for maximum efficiency and quality.
They have a full engineering staff at any one of these modular manufacturers that can basically replicate in a factory environment anything that we could build in a more traditional fashion.
Not only are modern factories building entire homes in less than a week, they're building custom homes.
We're really doing modular mansions now, things that are very, very complex, high-end, and fairly expensive.
How would you like to call this place home?